I feel it's almost anti-Canadian, that's so offensive.
Are we in for an exciting menu update?
Princess the Bear here today. We're hanging out at EPCOT in the Land of Lands, the Canada Pavilion, because they got some new stuff on the menu.
We're going to Le Cellier.
Yes, because when there's new things that pop up, we're going to investigate, because remember, she's vegan. I'm not. We're going to have a party in the basement.
Time to foodie and chill. Plant-based poutine, you must ask for it. It's one of the very few places on Walt Disney World property where you can get real Miyoko's cheese. Very hard to find. Shout out to Chef Tony for introducing that here, and for the rest of the kitchen team for keeping it alive. We usually get this every single time we come here. Woo! Big cheeses, big pieces of cheese. Miyoko's and Violife. Oh. Taking big bites, but I guess I commit to this mistake. When I was at work today in meetings, all I could do was think about after work, coming here and having the pretzel and the poutine. Nothing makes a day at work go by better, no matter how bad of a day it is, when you have a reward of Le Cellier at the end. This poutine is the stuff of dreams. The Miyoko's cheese is actually cold this time, so I think it's a little more like literal curd, which is interesting and I'm not mad at it. I think if you were looking for an authentic poutine, this is as close as you're going to get anywhere at Disney World. Anything else that says they're poutine is just lying to you. Cake bake, looking at you. I give it a 5 out of 5. It is a Princessities item. Though it's not on the menu, you gotta ask for it.
The infamous plant-based poutine here at Le Cellier is one of those best-kept non-secrets at Walt Disney World at Epcot, more or less. We are the biggest advocates. If you can't decide what to eat, try to get the walk-up list in Le Cellier, and you can just eat the poutine. The poutine is not a small portion. It is a meal unto itself. You got this demi-glaze, the cheese curds. You will walk away more full from just this item than you're going to do any quick service around World Showcase. Be back out in the heat in no time. Meanwhile, getting the heat in here. It's not simply the plant-based cheese, but there are two kinds on here. And the demi-glaze, which is excellent. They always nail the crispness of the fries. The fries are never like mushy or soft. They have that nice, like almost like double fried crispness to them that just sells it. Poutine here is unlike anywhere else you get in Walt Disney World, except literally no substitutes. Literally. I know that you'll see somebody, people, this is a place you get poutine. They're lying. Come here and try it for yourself. Hold me personally responsible if you don't like it. Canadians, you get a pass. Give this 4.75 out of 5 plus. The traditional poutine. I love the traditional poutine. One thing I miss about the Cellier menu is they used to do multiple poutines. Sometimes you get like a burnt-in poutine. They've had like a turning red sort of Chinese-inspired poutine. They serve like a little like dim sum basket. I want the return of that because the different poutines here light up my life. The traditional poutine though is absolutely no slouch. You have a nice thick curds, got the demi-glaze, and a heaping helping of these frites. The deep smokiness and just the cheese, the way that it soaks into the fries, is like, it makes me feel like home. I'm not Canadian, but it feels like one of those home feelings. You take that bite, the stress of the day doesn't matter, the heat doesn't matter, the lines you've had to wait up until now don't matter. This feels like a redemption for any sort of stress you had to deal with in a day. That's why this really remains one of the restaurants that, like, when we've had like a hard day at work, just a hard day period, we'll happily come here and do nothing else. Give that a 4.75 out of 5 claws. Continues to be top tier at Le Cellier.
squash agnolotti. Now, we recently had one at Ale and Compass that was just introduced to their menu. We also had a terrible one at the Yachtsman Steakhouse. And then back in the day, we had one at Saratoga Springs at the Turf Club. So I'm excited to see how Cellier is going to show this dish in comparison to some of the other ones that we've had around Walt Disney World. So I'm gonna grab some of the squash with these agnolotti. There's quite a bit of it. And then there's dried fruit in this, which is interesting. Now this one is a squash. The last couple ones we've had was corn, and we've had a carrot one. You can see it's filled with a butternut squash, and then we're eating it with a squash, so it's squash on squash. Very fall here. Let's see if we're gonna fall for this. It is a very interesting balance between savory and sweet. It almost seems like the savory and the sweet are fighting against each other, wanting one to dominate over the other, but nobody really wins. I really like it. It's giving me fall. It's not giving me as much fall as I got like eating that incredible gnocchi from California Grill, but it's kind of close to there. It's definitely better than the one that we had at Yachtsman. The one at Yachtsman had kale, which I don't like. This one has raisins, which I don't like. But I think I can manage this a little bit more because the raisins add like an element of sweet. And even though I don't like the texture, I have this delicious squash to go with it, so it's totally mine. I don't think it's better than the one from Ale and Compass though. Either way, I love the flavors. I love the balance between the sweet and the savory. You have like a really nice like soft mouthfeel with it. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 pastas. It is definitely better than the mushroom tart. I don't know if it's better than the tortilla. It's better than the dumplings. But I feel like I'm missing an entree somewhere in there. But I do appreciate the fact that I finally have a dish that doesn't have mushroom in it. There's been a lot of mushroom in this restaurant for a couple of years now, so I appreciate that.
Corn agnolotti are arriving here just in time for fall in other states that are not Florida, but this is already, just looking at it, a far more bold presented dish than the previous dishes we've had here in quite some time. You have these huge pieces of acorn squash, the agnolotti itself, with squash inside. Then you have a caper-based sauce in here and golden raisins. So that's a lot of different textures and flavors going all at one time. But I'm excited because I know that the Canadians will never lead us wrong. Well, for most of us. Balance going on here. There we go. That is very interesting. The cut of the squash, there's like a nice like char on it. You like a little crunch you bite into it. The agnolotti itself is very filled. When we got agnolotti at Ale and Compass, like it was nice, but I felt like it was lacking like the amount of filling. These are like packed, filled. The second you bite into it, you're just getting just a puree of the squash, like a butternut squash in your mouth. The golden raisins that have nice sweetness, and the capers is like salty. So it's like savory, sweet, and salty. That is like this is like a foodie tour of the Canadian terrain, if you will. But actually, I kind of like it. I like it far more than the outgoing dish. With that punch of flavors, and even with like the different texture gradients, it works very well. I feel very hearty, very fall, very autumn. Okay, I'm feeling like there's a rain of leaves around me, a nice wind coming through where it's like cold, but like hoodie weather, and not like I gotta put on 18 layers to walk out the door sort of weather. For those that know what that kind of weather is like, I think it's an excellent dish. Honestly, I just want to dive into it like a pile of leaves. Give it 4.5 out of 5 balls. Braiding in as part of the butcher cuts, doing something I don't normally do here. Normally I stick with basically the fish or the chicken, but this time I was like, you know what? They added something to the butcher cut menu that actually looks somewhat interesting. So I got that. If you're looking at the clothes, yes, we did change clothes because we actually thought this menu was dropping 2 days ago, so we came here early, and then only got like poutine and apps because, well, we messed up. But we're making it right, basically. We're making it wrong. Either way, I got the new Bison strip loin cut. It's 7 ounces. I got it chef's cook choice because that's what I do here. I want the food the way the chef would make it. So it's served medium to medium rare, along with their Brandy-Peppercorn sauce to dip it in. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut off a piece here. I'm just gonna think, what would M. Bison do? Yeah. Looks interesting. Char on the edge. Cook the correct color and temperature. Going in.
Don't turn around.
So we get a nice fire grilled taste to it. Very smoky, very tender piece of meat. Not a ton of chew. It's what I expect for something that's cooked medium rare to medium. The flavor, crunchy, it's well seasoned. It's not just a cut of meat, but it's like rich enough to where like I can understand why it's like 7 ounce cut. Let's do one more cut. This time we're gonna do it in the. It's not necessarily the recommended sauce. It's a sauce that the chef team and the server thought would pair most well with it, best with it, is the Brandy-Peppercorn. With a nice dip. I love that they serve the sauces on the side here, not on like the steak itself, so you're not committed to doing it. And if you want, they also have a sauce flight. So if you wanted all their sauces, you could do that. Ooh. It's not a sweet sauce, but combined with the bison strip loin, it goes from like meat to meat candy. Like it's that level of creamy. It ratchets up the flavor, the taste enhances it. I would say like 30% to where it's like I just put meat silk in my mouth and I feel quite satisfied. Overall, me not being the professional meat, I'm professional meat either, but not the professional like steak and like different cuts. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 claws. I think if you're looking for a lighter cut of meat, yes, it's 7 ounces, but it's very rich and very satisfying. Another surprising addition to the menu is a new enhancement for their butcher cuts. You have a hot honey garlic shrimp, or sea roach, as the bears call it, just drowning in the sauce. Nice juicy cuts. Tail on. You know what? I'm done with my tail rant. I have the utensils and tools. You know how I can just cut the shrimp off and stop complaining about the tails. You guys listen to me complain enough. So, right color, looks good. Sauce is nice and sticky. Let's see how it tastes. Wow. Ooh, doggy. That is very much. I feel almost anti-Canadian. That's so offensive. Not in a bad way. For a little context, I've ordered a lot of hot honey things here at Walt Disney World. A lot of hot honey things, and in 97% of cases, I've been starkly disappointed because it is neither hot nor sweet. It's like a orange reddish gel that just sort of sits on the food. That baby is spicy. It went from a 0 to like a 6 out of 10 on the spice scale with a quickness. With the speed I would expect a shrimp to move, my mouth is on fire. I kind of like that. This, to me, would be better served as like an appetizer than an enhancement with the steak, because I would order this by itself in a heartbeat. Now, even though it's only 4 shrimp, for the flavor alone, I would order another. I would give this 5 out of 5 claws. It's on the bear says if it's something that I do know, it's seafood and sea roach, and I love that. Now, it wouldn't truly be an enhancement to my butcher's cut without actually attempting to enhance my meal with it. So I'm going to take this nice bison strip loin. I'm going to take my hot honey garlic sea roach, and I'm going to combine these two like mini a Voltron and or Megazord, and we're gonna see how this messes me up. Never in nature would you think that Bison and shrimp would be hanging out. And I think I just discovered the reason for that. The flavor is fine. You get the spice of the hot honey shrimp and that sweetness with the roast on the loin. They don't necessarily fight each other, but they sort of like so much blend into each other that it's less of both. So while still tasty, I think I like them better separate than together. The combination, I'll give you 3 out of 5 claws, but overall I'm still very satisfied with this plate. Now with the butcher nuts, I think are pretty competitively priced as far as value here at Le Cellier. You also get a side and a sauce included in the price of the normal meat, so you're not paying extra for it. Now, I got the braised mushrooms, which you referenced our last video here. We actually did get a modified vegan, but that portion size is almost 2.5 times bigger than this one. So this is a smaller side. If you order just a side of the braised mushrooms, it is a lot bigger than this. And I love those braised mushrooms, so I'm just gonna go all in and, you know, put all the fungus inside my mouth, braised or not. The mushrooms are nice and tender, well washed, that's important. Nobody wants to eat dirty mushrooms. They soak up the seasoning very well. They still maintain their earthy flavor without being something I think is overpowering. They make a nice side paired with a good cut of meat, which is where we are. I would give the braised mushrooms a 4 out of 5 claws. Overall, I'm very satisfied with my plate. If I have to rate the overall meal, I'm giving it like a 4.25 out of 5 claws.
Now these carrots look like they were plucked straight from the garden. They look so gorgeous. And after the terrible carrot scenario that happened to us at Spice Road Table, I'm glad that I can actually trust a carrot that has leaf symbol on it and know that it is actually vegan. Now what I love about this carrot, besides the fact that it tastes like fresh, is that it's not so cooked that it doesn't have a crunch to it. The crunch is amazing. I'm into the carrots. Barry will have a better idea of whether or not it's better than Spice Road Table since he was able to have those carrots. But if I was to judge these carrots on looks alone, this is like 10 times more carrot for the amount of money you paid at like Spice Road Table, and I'm here for it. If you're in the carrot mood, if you're a rabbit, this is a food for you. 4 to 5 carrots.
I feel like we're starting a battle of the roasted carrots here on EPCOT's World Showcase, and I'm not mad at that. Carrot happens to be one of my favorite veggies, and roasted is one of my favorite ways to have them. You have this beautiful carrot, nice thickness, thick but not too thick. It's like a single bite through, and season. Season your food, people. I would say these carrots, while roasted, are not as cooked through as the carrots at Spice Road Table. I will say, however, I prefer the roast of these carrots because it's more of a bite and less of a mush. Biting into the carrots at Spice Road Table was mush with some seasoning. These feel a lot more purposeful. Herb, carrot's still carrot, and I'm probably more willing to eat more of these than I would the Spice Road Table carrots. Even with the yogurt, I don't feel like it adds anything additional to the carrots over what we get here. I'll give this 4.25 out of 5 claws.
Brussels sprouts on this channel lately. Turf Club, Polite Pig, well that one's always good. Toledo. Yeah, Toledo. Even Topolino's has Brussels sprouts. But the bar for Brussels sprouts is always Le Cellier. They were gone from the menu for a while. We came back in September when they were re-added back, and we are so glad they are still here to stay. So let's enjoy some standard Brussels sprouts. Oh, it looks so gorgeous. Got a nice little light fry on it. This is what the dream Brussels sprout tastes like. Charred perfectly, cooked perfectly. It's got that like blackening to it. Literally the stuff of dreams. It's 5 out of 5. That is the consistency I know. You need to celebrate the Brussels sprouts being back on the menu because they are literally, they get on like a house on fire.
The Brussies that inspired the craze and inspired our addiction. The Cellier is single-handedly responsible for our wanting to cook Brussels sprouts at the house whenever we can, and still have yet to find a place better than it's served here. The slight sweetness, the way that falls apart in your mouth, that char, one thing that never matches, no matter the cut. But you don't have like that hard base of the Brussels sprout that you bite through like in other places. Here, it's never been a problem. It's just delicious, sweet, and savory char. I love it. The 5 out of 5 clause. It's on the bear says that if we order a side when we come here, it is always.
This is the Trimba Pinot Gris. I always order wine here because none of the mixed drinks are vegan. For the most part, they use Crown and everything, and Crown is not vegan, unfortunately. So cheers to the wine drinkers. It's very like crisp. It has like a nice bite to it. Very like floral notes. I'm into it. I will give it a 3 out of 5 wines. It makes me feel medium fine.
Pinot Gris because I'm feeling greasy? I don't know. It's grape juice. Nice smelling grape juice. Ooh. There's crisp and there's sharp. This baby is sharp. Like this will cut through any palate. Very tart grape, but not like harsh. So it's a nice balance. I like it. I give that 3.75 out of 5 points. So I got the Blanche de Chambly. This is a Belgian-style wheat beer. This is from the same brewery that we get our beloved La Fin du Mans. But every once in a while I like to branch out and try one of their other beers because I've yet to find one that I don't like. What if they have a Christmas beer? I should look into that. So then, cheers to the community. There's something so homey about a nice Belgian wheat. This beer, no exception. I feel very at peace now. I'm always at peace, but a little extra beer never hurt anybody. I can't kick up my feet and put them on the table here, but this will do. 4 out of 5 points.
We have a lemon apple pineapple sorbet, and I thought it was like a scoop of each, but no, they're all blended together into one sorbet. So I will just remove this and you can see it's all here together, and then they put a little meringue on top. We've had this meringue on multiple things. You can get it at Be Our Guest, you can get it at Topolino's, you can get it at Coral Reef, now you can get it at Le Cellier. Wow. So I was a little worried because I don't like pineapple, but I love apple. And I just didn't understand how these flavors would jive. But when you eat everything together, it takes you on this really weird journey of like tart and sweet. And some of it's good and some of it's bad. You definitely get to taste each individual flavor in each bite. I don't necessarily know how I feel about that. I think it's a little confused and not the good way. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5 sorbets. Definitely not my favorite sorbet that I've had at Walt Disney World, which I think is actually a cake bake shop, which I know is weird, you guys, but it's literally the only good thing that I have there. They could take some lessons on this and this. But yeah, not my jam really. I think I'm gonna be donating this dessert to Bear.
So they call this Stonehenge looking deal here the Victoria Gardens sorbet. The princess had lemon, apple, and pineapple, and you can see a facsimile version of Victoria Gardens outside in the Canada Pavilion. Well, this is quite interesting. They did let us know that the meringue here on top is not made with egg whites, it's made with chia seeds. So obviously it's a plant-based dessert, 100% vegan, but just in case you have some questions of its construction, that's what it's made out of. Very cold on the teeth. Like teeth, floors.
No. No.
I couldn't help myself. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is a very good film that you only watch once.
No. Yes.
But it's still a very good film. And I've actually wanted to buy a shirt, because you know I love my shirts, that said Teeth, Floors, Layla, and Rocket, but the princess would basically say off with my head if I even tried that. So none of that for me. Given the different flavors, lemon, apple, and pineapple are not things that I would normally think about combining. Apple, pineapple, yes. Pineapple and lemon? Apple and lemon? So no, but it ends up being a very tart and punchy sorbet. Like it's like fruit slapped in the face. The meringue sort of helps, but it still can't cover up how strong that combination of flavors are. And I feel for a lot of people, not just the princess, that might be a bit off-putting. It's tasty, it definitely qualifies as dessert, but it's, I would say, more challenging dessert than most people want to deal with. You want like the classics. This is definitely different, but in a good way. I think somebody will love this. I would give it 3.75 out of 5. We always delight at menu changes here in Cellier because, honestly, we like an excuse to come here.
And the fact that we got to come twice in 1 week just to bring you guys a new menu makes me super happy.
Yes, I think the new vegan option is definitely an upgrade from the mushroom tart. The dessert was a bit challenging, but I think it's just, honestly, it's more shaved ice than sorbet to begin with. So, your mileage may vary.
It was reminding me of an old Takumi Tate dessert that we got. And I'm not mad at that. It was just a little too pineapple-y for me.
Yes. If you do not like pineapple or have an issue with like lemon, you're probably going to hate it. Otherwise, it's a fine dessert. But I don't know what you guys think. We already think this is the best steakhouse on the property, but I know that some of you have different feelings about that. And you're welcome to leave those feelings in the complaint box down here below.
In the comments.
Yes. Now, if there's anything else you'd like to see us do, that will always be a place to find us. Hit the notification bell if you want to see other videos like this, and
we have new videos 5 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
We'll see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, well, I never met nobody like you. I have friends and I had buddies. It's true. But they don't make my tummy feel the way that you do. I never met
nobody
like you.
You're the girl.
All right.